Hey there, welcome back. Today we're diving deep into the world of AI-driven drug discovery,
Oh, yeah.
a topic that's really transforming the way we develop new medicines,
Yeah, definitely.
especially in your fields of pharmaceutical chemistry and medicinal biology.
Absolutely.
And to guide us through this fascinating landscape,
Yeah.
we have a true pioneer in the field.
Yeah.
We'll be focusing on the incredible work of Ivan de Weber,
Right.
co-founder and CEO of Cortex Discovery.
Yeah.
His journey is a fascinating example of how
Oh, yeah, for sure.
thinking outside the box and merging different fields can lead to some groundbreaking advances.
It really is.
Yeah.
What's so intriguing about de Weber's story is that he started in aging genetics,
Genetics?
earned his PhD in the field,
Wow.
but then kind of realized the limitations of traditional drug development.
Yeah.
It was slow,
Okay.
expensive, and often hit or miss.
Yeah, it's like searching for a needle in a haystack, right?
Exactly.
So de Weber decided to explore cheminformatics, which uses computer technology to streamline chemical research. But he quickly realized that even traditional cheminformatics wasn't efficient enough.
Right, because it often involved chemists trying to wrangle complex mathematics.
Yeah.
Not exactly their forte.
No, not really their cup of tea.
De Weber, with his background in aging genetics, saw an opportunity to bridge that gap between biology and computers.
Right, so it's like bringing those two worlds together.
Yeah.
And that's where his partnership with a quantum information expert comes in.
Right.
A childhood friend, no.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
Together, they decided to harness the power of modern machine learning
Yeah,
and neural network to tackle this drug discovery challenge head-on.
that's a great approach.
So they started by building a massive data set,
Huge.
750 million data points about molecules and their properties.
That's a lot of data.
I know this included information on,
Yeah.
activity, target interaction effects on cells, so much more.
Wow, it's like creating a digital library of chemical knowledge. A vast one.
It is a vast digital library.
Yeah.
750 million data. That's an incredible amount of information.
Yeah, it's really remarkable.
But they didn't just use any AI to analyze this data, did they?
No, they chose to use a specific type of AI called graph neural nets.
Graph neural networks.
These are particularly good at understanding the 3D structure of molecules, which is crucial in drug discovery.
Can you explain why that 3D structure is so important? I know our listeners are very familiar with the concept of chirality.
Right, of course.
But, it's always good to have a refresher.
As you know, chirality refers to the handedness of a molecule. Two molecules can have the same atoms but be arranged differently in space, like your left and right hands are mirror images.
Mirror images.
This seemingly small difference can have a huge impact on how a drug interacts with the body.
It can.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
So how do these graph neural networks help account for chirality?
Well, traditional neural networks, like the ones used for language processing, treat data as a sequence of words. But graph neural networks can represent molecules as a network of atoms connected in 3D space.
Okay.
Think of it like a 3D molecular map that the AI can navigate and understand.
At a map.
Yeah, exactly.
Fascinating.
This allows the AI to recognize subtle differences in molecular structure that could be missed by other AI.
That's really cool.
It is, yeah.
So they fed this massive data set into their graph neural network, but they didn't stop there, did they?
No, they took a very innovative approach to training their AI. Instead of predicting just one property at a time, like whether a molecule would bind to a specific target, they trained their AI to predict thousands of properties simultaneously.
Okay, this is where it gets really cool.
Yeah.
Why was predicting so many properties at once so important? What was the advantage of that?
It allowed the AI to see connections and relationships between these properties that humans might never have noticed. It's like seeing the bigger picture,
a bigger picture.
understanding how all these molecular characteristics work together. This holistic approach gave the AI a much deeper understanding of the molecules than traditional method provides.
So it's not just about identifying a molecule that binds to a target. It's about understanding the molecule's overall behavior
Exactly.
and how it might interact with various biological processes.
Precisely. And this ability to predict so many properties simultaneously is especially relevant to your fields of pharmaceutical chemistry and medicinal biology.
Oh, absolutely.
Imagine being able to predict not just whether a molecule will be effective against target, but also its potential toxicity, how it's metabolized in the body, and even its potential for off-target effects.
Incredible. That would be
Yeah.
a game changer.
It would.
So they have this incredibly powerful AI
Yeah.
that can analyze millions of molecules and predict their properties with incredible accuracy.
Right.
But how did they know their AI was actually making accurate predictions? Did they just take its word for it?
Of course not. To validate their AI's predictions, they held back 20% of the data and then tested the AI on this hidden data set. They found that the AI's predictions were as accurate as real-world experiments conducted on that same data.
So it's like a virtual lab assistant
Right.
that can predict the outcome of experiments before they even happen.
It's a truly remarkable achievement. They had proven that their AI could learn from a vast amount of data and make incredibly accurate predictions about the behavior of molecules. This was a major breakthrough in drug discovery, and it was just the beginning of their journey.
Okay, so they have this powerful AI
Yeah.
that can analyze millions of molecules and predict their properties with incredible accuracy. But how did they actually put it to use in a real-world setting? I'm dying to hear what happened next.
Oh, I know. It's an incredible story.
We'll dive into that right after a quick break.
All right, sounds good.
Welcome back. Before the break, we were discussing how Ivan de Weber and his team created an AI capable of predicting the properties of molecules with remarkable accuracy.
Yeah.
They had this incredible tool, but the question was, could it actually help discover new drugs?
Well, they certainly weren't content with just letting their AI sit on a hard drive.
Yep.
They wanted to see if it could tackle real-world challenges.
Real-world challenges.
And what better way to test its capabilities than with an emerging global health crisis? The COVID-19 pandemic provided a perfect opportunity to see if their AI could rise to the occasion.
Right. The pandemic really accelerated scientific innovation in many fields. So how did they apply their AI to the fight against COVID-19?
They started with existing data about compounds that affect cells infected with SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID. But remember, their AI could predict far more than just whether a compound would bind to a target. It could also predict a molecule's toxicity, its fluorescence, which can be useful for tracking its movement within cells, and many other properties.
So they weren't just looking for compounds that could directly attack the virus.
Right.
They were taking a more holistic approach, considering how a compound might affect various cellular processes hijacked by the virus.
Exactly. They teamed up with researchers at Aarhus University in Denmark who offered to test a small number of compounds for free. But there's a catch. They could only test 6 compounds. The stakes are high.
Wow, only 6. Talk about pressure.
Yeah.
So they had to choose those 6 compounds very carefully. How did the AI help them narrow it down?
The AI analyzed the available data and predicted which compounds were most likely to be effective against the virus, taking into account not just their direct antiviral activity, but also their potential impact on other cellular processes affected by the infection.
So it's like the AI was acting as a super-powered research assistant, sifting through mountains of data and highlighting the most promising.
Precisely. And the results were astounding. 5 out of the 6 compounds selected by the AI showed activity against the virus.
That's an incredible success rate. You mentioned earlier that they could only test 6 compounds for free. What happened to those 5 compounds after the initial testing?
2 of the compounds were promising enough to be patented. Here's what's really exciting. They were effective both before and after infection in human lung cells. This suggests they have real therapeutic potential as both a preventative measure and a treatment for COVID-19.
That's a remarkable achievement, especially given that they were working with a limited number of compounds and under immense time pressure. It really showcases the power of their AI-driven approach.
It was a pivotal moment for them. The COVID-19 project proved that their AI could not only make accurate predictions, but also identify promising drug candidates in a real-world scenario, and they didn't stop there.
So tell me, what did they do next? Did they stick with infectious diseases or branch out into other areas?
They actually did both. They realized their AI platform had the potential to be applied to a wide range of diseases and therapeutic areas.
That makes sense. Their AI is essentially a powerful tool for understanding the complex interactions between molecules and biological systems.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be limited to just one type of disease.
Exactly. And to really showcase the versatility of their AI, they decided to tackle a very different challenge, HIV-1.
HIV-1, the virus that causes AIDS. That's a formidable opponent. How did they approach this new challenge?
They partnered with a Norwegian company called Sintef, specializes in applied research. Sintef had a library of compounds that they wanted to screen for potential HIV-1 inhibitors.
So this was a virtual, high-throughput screening project. Instead of testing thousands of compounds in the lab, they used the AI to predict which ones were most likely to be active against the virus.
Precisely, and the results were just as impressive as their COVID-19 work. The AI predicted that 22 compounds in Sintef's library would be active against HIV-1 when those 22 compounds were tested in the lab.
Don't tell me. 21 of them work.
You got it. 21 out of the 22 compounds were confirmed to be active against the virus. The odds of that happening by chance are practically 0.
That's mind-blowing. It's like they've cracked the code of drug discovery. What are the implications of this for researchers like our listeners who are working in pharmaceutical chemistry and medicinal biology?
The implications are, it means that instead of spending months or even years screening thousands of compounds in the lab, researchers can now use AI to quickly identify the most promising candidate. This saves time, money, and resources, allowing researchers to focus on the most important aspect of drug development.
It's like having a super-powered research assistant that can analyze vast amounts of data and point you in the right direction.
Yeah.
It's a game changer for the entire field.
It really is. And here's what's even more exciting. In both the COVID-19 and HIV-1 projects, the AI often identified identified active compounds that were chemically different from anything in its training data.
Wait, so the AI wasn't just recognizing patterns it had seen before. It was actually coming up with completely new ideas, discovering novel compounds that human chemists might never have thought of.
Exactly. That's the true power of AI. It's not just about replicating human intelligence. It's about augmenting it, pushing the boundaries of what's possible, and opening up new avenues for science discovery.
That's incredible. So the AI is not only accelerating drug discovery, but also expanding the boundaries of what's chemically possible. It's like a whole new world of drug candidates has been unlocked.
It's a very exciting time to be in this field. And De Weber and his team aren't stopping there. They're continuing to refine their AI platform, exploring new applications, and partnering with researchers around the world.
So what's next for them? Where do they go from here? I'm eager to hear about their latest endeavors.
Well, one area they're particularly interested in is using AI to analyze molecular simulation. This could revolutionize the field of protein docking, making it faster and more accurate than ever before.
Protein docking. That's a critical step in drug design. Can you remind us what protein docking is and why it's so important?
Of course.
Yeah.
Protein docking is like a three-dimensional puzzle where you're trying to figure out how two proteins fit together. It's essential for understanding how drugs interact with their targets, which is crucial for developing effective therapy.
So how is AI changing the game for protein docking?
Traditionally, protein docking has been a very computationally intensive process, often requiring powerful computers and specialized software, but AI is making it faster, more efficient, and more accurate. By learning from vast amounts of data about protein structures and interactions, AI algorithms can predict how two proteins will fit together with remarkable precision.
That's amazing. It sounds like AI is revolutionizing every stage of the drug discovery process, from identifying promising targets to designing new drugs to predicting their efficacy and safety.
It's a paradigm shift in how we approach drug discovery, and it has the potential to accelerate the development of new therapies for a wide range of diseases, including some of the most challenging ones we face today.
What does this all mean for our listeners? For scientists working in pharmaceutical chemistry and medicinal biology, what are the key takeaways from De Weber's work?
The key takeaway is that AI is no longer a futuristic concept. It's a powerful tool that's here today, and it's already transforming the way we discover and develop new drugs. By embracing AI, researchers can accelerate their work, make groundbreaking discoveries, and ultimately bring new therapies to patients faster.
It's a call to action for scientists to embrace these new technologies and explore their full potential. But De Weber and his team aren't just developing cutting-edge AI tools, they're also actively using them to pursue their own drug discovery goals, right?
Absolutely. While they're making their AI platform available to other researchers, they're also using it to advance their own drug discovery programs, particularly in the area of aging and longevity.
That's fascinating. I know we haven't talked much about De Weber's background in aging genetics, but it seems like that passion is still driving them. Can you tell us more about their work in this area? What specific targets or pathways are they focusing on?
They're actually quite secretive about the specifics of their aging research. They haven't publicly disclosed which targets or pathways they're pursuing, but they have hinted that they're looking at a variety of approaches, including targeting cellular senescence, boosting mitochondrial function, and enhancing proteostasis.
That makes sense. They're probably trying to protect their intellectual property and maintain a competitive edge in this rapidly evolving field. But it's intriguing to think that they're using their AI-powered platform to tackle one of the grand challenges of our time, extending human lifespan and health span.
It's a bold ambition, and it'll be fascinating to see what they accomplish. But beyond their own research, the broader impact of their AI platform on drug discovery is already being felt.
It's like they've opened a Pandora's box of possibility. Researchers now have access to tools that can analyze vast amounts of data, identify promising drug candidates, and even design new molecules from scratch. It's truly a paradigm shift in how we approach drug discovery.
And it's just the beginning. As AI technology continues to advance, we can expect even more powerful tools and even more groundbreaking discoveries in the years to come. This is an exciting time to scientists, especially in your fields of pharmaceutical chemistry and medicinal biology.
It's an invitation to push the boundaries of what's possible, to think outside the box, and to embrace the power of AI to accelerate the development of new therapies that can improve human health and well-being. We've covered a lot of ground today, exploring the incredible work of Ivan De Weber and his team at Cortex Discovery. But before we wrap up, I'd love to get your final thoughts. What message would you like to leave our listeners?
I would say this: the future of drug discovery is here, and it's powered by AI. Embrace these new technologies, explore their full potential, and use them to make a difference. You have the power to change the course of human health. Don't be afraid to dream big. Pursue those dreams, passion, and determination.
That's an inspiring message. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time. Welcome back. Before the break, we were discussing how Ivan De Weber and his team created an AI capable of predicting the properties of molecules with remarkable accuracy.
Right.
They had this incredible tool, but the question was, could it actually help discover new drugs?
Well, they certainly weren't content with just letting their AI sit on a hard drive. They wanted to see if it could tackle real-world challenges. And what better way to test its capabilities than with an emerging global health crisis? The COVID-19 pandemic pandemic provided a perfect opportunity to see if their AI could rise to the occasion.
Right, the pandemic really accelerated scientific innovation in many fields. So how did they apply their AI to the fight against COVID-19?
They started with existing data about compounds that affect cells infected with SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID-19. But remember, their AI could predict far more than just whether a compound would bind to target. It could also predict a molecule's toxicity, its fluorescence, which can be useful for tracking its movement within cells and many other properties.
So they weren't just looking for compounds that could directly attack the virus. They were taking a more holistic approach, considering how a compound might affect various cellular processes hijacked by the virus.
Exactly. They teamed up with researchers at Aarhus University in Denmark who offered to test a small number of compounds for free. But there was a catch. They could only test 6 compounds. The stakes were high.
Wow, only 6. Talk about pressure. So they had to choose those 6 compounds very carefully.
Yeah.
How did the AI help them narrow it down?
The AI analyzed the available data and predicted which compounds were most likely to be effective against the virus, taking into account not just their direct antiviral activity, but also their potential impact on other cellular processes affected by the infection.
So it's like the AI was acting as a superpowered research assistant, sifting through mountains of data and highlighting the most promising leads.
Precisely. And the results were astounding. 5 out of the 6 compounds selected by the AI showed activity against the virus.
That's an incredible success rate. You mentioned earlier that they could only test 6 compounds for free. What happened to those 5 compounds after the initial test?
2 of the compounds were promising enough to be patented. And here's what's really exciting. They were effective both before and after infection in human lung cell 3D cultures. This suggests they have real therapeutic potential, possibly, as both a preventative measure and a treatment for COVID-19.
That's a remarkable achievement, especially given that they were working with a limited number of compounds and under immense time pressure. It really showcases the power of their AI-driven approach.
It was a pivotal moment for them. The COVID-19 project proved that their AI could not only make accurate predictions, but also identify promising drug candidates in a real-world scenario. And they didn't stop there. They embarked on a series of collaborations to further validate their AI and explore its capabilities. They partnered with Stanford University on a similar project, also leading to the discovery of 2 promising compounds.
So they replicated their success. That's fantastic. Did they do anything else to prove the accuracy of their AI?
They did. They wanted to put their AI through a rigorous independent evaluation. So they collaborated with the Victorian Centre for Functional Genomics in Australia. The center provided them with 80% of a non-public data set and challenged them to predict the results for the remaining 20%.
So essentially a blind test. What happened?
Their predictions were incredibly accurate, matching the experimental result almost perfectly. In fact, their AI's predictions were as reliable as the experimental reproducibility itself. It was like having a crystal ball for drug discovery.
That's amazing. They had proven beyond a doubt that their AI could predict the outcome of experiments with incredible accuracy. But they didn't want to just replicate existing knowledge, did they? They wanted to discover something entirely new.
Exactly. They had this powerful tool, and they wanted to use it to push the boundaries of drug discovery. That's where their evolutionary comes.
Oh, I'm intrigued. What is this evolutionary system and how does it work? Welcome back. Before the break, we were on the edge of our seats learning about Ivan de Weber's evolutionary system. It sounds pretty futuristic. Can you tell us more about it?
It really is cutting-edge technology. Imagine a virtual chemist tirelessly exploring vast chemical spaces guided by the AI's predictions to create entirely new drug candidates. That's essentially what the evolutionary system does. It's a form of generative AI, meaning it can actually design new molecules from scratch.
Wow, that's incredible. It's like giving the AI a blank canvas and saying, okay, go create something amazing.
Yeah.
So how does this generative AI actually work? How does it know what kinds of molecules to create?
Well, it starts with the AI's ability to predict a wide range of molecular properties that we discussed earlier. The AI uses this knowledge to guide the creation of new molecules that are likely to have the desired properties.
So if you're looking for a drug that binds to a specific target, the AI can generate new molecules that are predicted to bind to that target with high affinity, while also taking into account other important factors like toxicity and bioavailability.
Precisely. It's like having a team of expert chemists working around the clock, but instead of test tubes and beakers, they're using algorithms and data.
So it sounds like this evolutionary system has the potential to revolutionize drug discovery, but have they actually used it to discover any promising drug candidate?
Absolutely. One impressive example is their work with Syntef, a Norwegian research organization, to discover new inhibitors of the HIV-1 virus. They used the AI to virtually screen a library of compounds and predicted that 22 of them would be active against the virus. When those 22 compounds were actually tested in the lab, 21 of them turned out to be active.
Wow, 21 out of 22. What are the odds of that happening just by chance.
The odds are astronomically small, about 1 in a billion billion. It's practically a lock. This experiment really highlighted the power of their AI-driven approach. Instead of testing hundreds of thousands of compounds in the lab, which is a traditional approach, they were able to focus on a small set of AI-curated compounds and achieve a remarkably high success rate.
That's a game changer for drug discovery. It means researchers can save a tremendous amount of time and resources by focusing on the most promising candidates identified by the AI. And it gets even better.
Yes. What's even more remarkable is that the AI often identified active compounds that were chemically different from anything in its training dataset. This means the AI wasn't just mimicking what it had already learned, it was capable of genuine discovery, coming up with novel solutions that human chemists might never have considered.
That's incredible. It's like the AI is not only accelerating drug discovery, but also expanding the boundaries of what's chemically possible.
So how can researchers access this incredible technology? Is Weber's company, Cortex Discovery, offering these services to others?
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Cortex Discovery offers a range of services, including virtual high-throughput screening, AD-metox prediction, and off-target prediction. These services are significantly cheaper and faster than traditional lab experiments, and they're accessible to researchers in both academia and industry. That's fantastic news. It means that this groundbreaking technology has the potential to benefit a wide range of researchers, especially in your fields of pharmaceutical chemistry and medicinal biology. It really opens up a world of possibility. So what are the key takeaways from Weber's work? What can researchers learn from his innovative approach?
Well, I think the key takeaway is that AI is no longer a futuristic concept. It's a powerful tool that's here today, and it's already transforming the way we discover and develop drugs. For scientists working in pharmaceutical chemistry and medicinal biology, this technology offers incredible potential to accelerate their work, make groundbreaking discoveries, and ultimately bring new therapies fast.
It's a call to action to embrace these new technologies, explore their full potential, and really think outside the box. It's an exciting time to be in this field. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI-driven drug discovery. Until next time.